In January, we told you about drug price increases set to hit consumers in the United States this year. Now, U.S. senators are grilling big pharma CEOs over rising prescription drug prices today on Capitol Hill. Legal journalist Molly Barrows with America's Lawyers here now with more. Hey, Molly, what do we expect? I mean, what do the lawmakers expect, rather, from this hearing, or is it just a venting session?
So far, Bart, I'm expecting that it's mostly going to be a venting session. This is such a bipartisan issue. They know their constituents are complaining about rising drug prices, and they're trying to address those concerns almost in a dog and pony type show. So they say that they don't want any more finger pointing, no more excuses. They actually want solutions, but we'll see what they actually get. So who all has been scheduled to testify today is a list of 7 of the top pharmaceutical companies, including Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, Merck, AbbVie, Bristol Myers, et cetera. And they were scheduled to testified before that panel today, and they have a collective market value of more than $1 trillion, Bart. So these are powerful, lucrative companies with powerful lobbies. Now, this is the first time these execs have appeared before a congressional committee to answer any questions about drug prices, which in and of itself is revealing, isn't it? Senators mentioned the thousands of letters that I talked about before that they receive from constituents who say these drug prices are so high they're having to choose between pills and bills in some cases. They simply can't afford it at all in other cases. And so these lawmakers want to know, well, what can we do that can, what can be done to make things better? Like we mentioned, it is a bipartisan issue. President Trump tweeted just last month, here's a look that, hey, we're going to bring this down. We've already got policies that are working. Drug prices went down in 2018. Well, that is obviously not true.
It's not true, Molly. It's not true.
It is to voters.
Absolutely.
It's not true. It's not true. I'm going to say it. But yeah, calling out Big Pharma on these high costs of drugs, is it going to make them come down? So what can they do to make them come down except hold them accountable? And I just don't know that they're going to do it.
Yeah, well, we like to say around here the numbers matter. The truth matters also. There is that. So speaking of numbers, Molly, how much money is Big Pharma making in the U.S.?
Oh, my gosh, Bart, it's ridiculous. As I mentioned before, just those 7 drug companies alone are worth, my Lord, what is it, $1 trillion, well over $1 trillion. So they're making an obscene amount of money. Part of that's because the United States leave drug pricing to market competition. So you see where that gets us. And the U.S. spent an estimated $344.5 billion on prescription drugs in 2018. That figure is expected to go up to almost $577 million in 2027, according to projections from the Federal Centers for Medicaid and Medicare and Medicaid Services. But you compare this prices to other countries, the United States, because they allow the market to direct pricing. In other countries, governments directly or indirectly control the costs of their medicines, and their prescription drug costs are significantly lower. In fact, according to a recent Reuters report, U.S. prices for the world's 20 top-selling medicines are on average 3 times higher than they are in, say, like Britain. And these researchers were from Britain's University of Liverpool. They also found that U.S. prices were consistently higher than in other European markets, not just in Britain. So elsewhere, U.S. prices 6 times higher than Brazil, 16 times higher than the average in the lowest priced country, which is usually India, because that's where a lot of these generics come from. And at the same time, you have Big Pharma saying, hey, it's not our fault, we're just investing all this money in research and development. This is just what it costs. But you have countries like India, which are saying, hey, we're doing research and development. We're finding generic costs. We can provide you pills that are less expensive. And then the same industry that has lobbyists that keep them from raising those prices say, no, we don't want your generics. They're going to make it more affordable. So these politicians know these are problems. They know how to solve these problems. The question is, do they really want to make the hard decisions to change this complex system that's going to require making deep pockets mad at them, as opposed, it's easier to have your constituents mad at you than have these big corporations and these big money makers that are putting money in their pocketbooks.
Absolutely. Legal journalist Molly Barrows, who's a contributor to America's Lawyer. Thank you so much, Molly. Appreciate it.